It turned out I couldn't pause it, but that's okay. I actually made uh, a couple attempts and tried to pause it again and again, so it's some short files. That's okay. I definitely liked the last recording. I use an EMF detector. I use applications sold, uh, downloadable, of course, by a company called Skibaps. SKIBAPPS. Skibaps. And they have things like finding fake cell towers, um, making sure people can't, send a whole bunch of crap to your phone, and an anti-spyware app as well to make sure you don't have any applications that were spyware. And I also use at times an app called Thunder VPN. Uh, Thunder VPN is a very effective program for concealing exactly where you are or something like that. It makes it much more difficult for hackers or even simply an artificial intelligence botnet, which would, simply uh, count you in a sweep, or, target your phone as some sort of, batch of the world, or who knows. But that's more like if I'm gonna play a video game, I'm probably not gonna use Thunder VPN, uh, because it might slow down the connection. It slows it down quite a lot. But for example, if you're in a public place, you could use Thunder VPN. And so that pretty well summarizes the basic software that I use just to make their lives, you know, not exactly, well, their agenda, not exactly what they had imagined, which is that, they just have a fucking phone that whatever was naked of all that. Um, and a prime example is just of this whole bluffing thing. And this is like a punch straight in the nuts for them, is that they could brick my phone right now. All they gotta do is zap it with a microwave for like a very short amount of time, and all of a sudden, this video doesn't make it online. It very much implies that somehow they can't. There's some reason that good guys count too, good people, no particular order, good gals and guys are out there, good good hermaphrodites, good none suches are out there doing good as part of a digital information age front against this incredulously crappy bullshit. And so, again, I would draw attention to the fact that if you have heroes in this life who are absolutely like balls out, just killing it, or whatever at fuck the system, you might consider that they're a higher profile target than you, but they got through the gates. Um, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a celebrity. Maybe you're not looking to. I, I personally, I have some plans. Um, I also have 25 years of guitar experience under my belt, and I directly targeted them, is the fact of it. What I did, the most unbelievable story, the day I became targeted, I will tell you the story. I took my fucking remote control. I was at my parents' trailer, and I assigned the alphabet 1 through 26, and I changed the channels in order so as to convey. I was like, I gotta get these people's attention somehow, because I was like, maybe there's a dead end job, and yeah, I want to play guitar. I never went to college. I dropped out of high school, partied my ass off, and I still love to, especially the LSD. Oh my goodness, a vision quest, right? Um, I use the channel series with the remote control to say two sentences. I'm gonna fuck 'em up. And, yeah, the next sentence being, I smoked pot and had Hitler's babies. Immediately, there was some AI of like Dick Cheney in the fucking yard of the neighbors and like just an amalgamy of shit that has persisted to this day. And I am so proud of myself for doing it. And so then uh, supposedly, or even I'm guessing, people don't just the villains do give the villains give away their plot quite quickly. Next came the American Mafia. Dude, I had this fat tub of shit yelling vodka in my face. They think I'm mafioso. And that was after I had obeyed some secret code to look to the right, as in to be in on it or something. Of course, I could give a shit. I was just fucking afraid. It didn't really mean I had a contract or an oath or some other shit. And so he was doing that and he scared me. So I went down to the library computer, went on MySpace, a public post like from the rooftops. Who gives a fuck? It was, who asked if you're mafioso? And all of a sudden, these various characters from town are mad at me. And I had been, my claim to fame was probably most remarkably, or underground fucking whatever fame. I had been writing Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert emails extensively because back around 2004, they were the only people who made sense in the entire scope of any media I could see on my, humble television. It wasn't exactly the internet of today and so on. And so every night I'd see little glimpses into it. And frankly, sometimes they repeated the words I spoke. Uh, you absolutely can tag it right on in the fucking heart if you want to. Um, my best advice is this. You must realize that it is Mortal Kombat. And you must therefore have that feeling of meeting them exactly 50% with a fucking wall of you. And listen to like Bjork, Army of Me or something. Realize that, for one thing, they're clearly the minority. Um, realize that if they don't break you, and if they don't break the entire earth, Gaia herself, to me, goddess of great spirit, of if you want to say a male god, it'd be God. If of things ununderstandable, maybe it's a little soon to describe meaning to it. Maybe all spiritual belief is good usually, and all religions have that one thing mostly, or spiritual practices, whatever, that say don't do the stuff that stinks, right? To put it the nicest way possible. Um, Goodness, huh? Once again, I lost a thought. It's back there somewhere. People be like, "Well, would you finish the sentence?" But you're not gonna like isn't it a trial by fire for doing it. They're saying it wrong. And goodness. I'll review this and you know see if I left anything particularly important out. If I didn't, everyone can fill the blank and be like, yeah, I get that. It's okay. Even though like my inflection when I said yeah wasn't quite yeah. It becomes it requires being a master thespian. It requires being an actor, basically, or in my case, actress, etc. All right, so I was oh, spiritual belief, and when you look at people who, like, let's say you're a Christian, which I understand is many of you, and I respect very much. Uh, Please see that among Christians, the nicest, such as my own mother, turn out to be omnists. Did I say it? No. This was some fucking voice at once. Isn't that funny? So what? Some laughing voice out the window too. So what? an omnist. An omnist believes in all religions or lack thereof, including atheism, and everybody's cool. And that's how my mother was. And I myself, I mean, call it worship or not, it's kind of neither here nor there. Very much see Jesus as a you know cream of the crop kind of thing. But please understand that among Christians, contemporary Christians, and all throughout time, have existed people who see that spiritual equals exist in all walks, in all geographies. Uh, for example, let's say there's a different planet and there's aliens from there. What's it gonna be? Welcome to the Garden of Eden, center of everything. I mean, maybe from their alien planet they have their version of a Jesus, and maybe they've gotten through their things. But please understand that this is much like America's supposed to be here or something, a melting pot of cultural diversity. And that's the real truth, is that anything besides this weird monoculture melting pot, dust bowl-ish, results in a trail of tears, this kind of shit, is not only not of, I don't think Jesus would say that's that great. And even deeper is, he said, be like me. What did he mean exactly? Whilst he was saying, I am God. And if you had to ask me personally, I am in exactly the same shoes as him. And frankly, so are you, if you look at it. They're trying to kill you. Are you a martyr? Whatever. Not exactly. It's not like Jesus wanted to be a martyr. And this is where, some people, like the dickheads downstairs, I call them the tit leeches, the tit leech family. I wrote a song and played it for them on the fucking porch yesterday while they were coming home. I just finished it, in fact. It gets like that. It's like that. You ever have that brave friend who makes you feel safe, kinda, and you want to be like them? Well, be like them. And pretty much, yeah. Could you imagine Chuck Norris being afraid of this shit? No. Good. Could you imagine the Dalai Lama being afraid of this shit? No. Be like him. Could you imagine Jesus being afraid of this shit? No. Be like him. And most of all, could you imagine me being afraid of this shit? No. Uh, Goodness. It's such a fear mongering, nothing but fear tactic, like they're trying to refine and somehow enrich fear, that they could pervade all about the place under any guise. And now we enter this concept of the cabal, which is that uh, as a rose by any other name is a rose, shit by any other name is shit, and uh, you know A alpha blah 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 up the pyramid scheme on the back of your fucking dollar bill. It's not too hard to figure out, except like I barely found out I was a TI because okay, specifically, this is exactly how I'm here presenting this video, is that uh, the chief of police of Bellas Falls, being Officer Lake, I believe, I don't know, think so, tall guy, big fucking guy with glasses, jammed a needle fucking in my forearm. And so I'm online, trying to figure this out, and still, the villain's card played and hand shown and plot revealed kind of thing. Psychotronic implant. And Google returns the result targeted individual, and now here I am. But anyhow, it's been 16 years, and it's made me nothing but tougher. It's made me able to identify their plot, motive, bias. And now that I am simply galvanized and invincible, I may proceed, and there's not a fucking thing they can do about it, to Burlington, Vermont to go play jazz, hippie fusion, and do drugs. So, be like your heroes. Be happy.